Quint Rogers, who is a senior religious study major at Albright College. Rogers has found religious studies to be a great learning experience here at Albright. Rogers, outside the classroom, loves being outdoors and mostly in the water. Rogers loves to fish, one of his favorite hobbies outdoor. Today we interviewed Quint Rogers. So Quint, why do you like fishing so much?
I love fishing because I get to connect with nature. I've been fishing since I was real young with my dad. It's a big thing in my family. And sort of get to like decompress and I can sort of lose myself in it.
It's good to hear. What are your favorite fish to catch in the water?
Well, primarily bass. I love bass fishing, both with regular tackle and on a fly rod. They're just awesome. And in salt water, probably redfish.
Do you go fishing with friends around here at school, or how about back at home as well?
Well, when I'm back at home, mostly fishing with my family, dad and my brother. And when I'm up here, I fish with my buddy Gerald, a couple other guys, Austin Handler, and just anybody I meet that's trying to fish, I'll take them.
Where do you normally go fishing around Reading? I know Reading's a big area, and I'm sure there's a lot of water and mountaintops, and I know there's waters on the mountain. And what's one of your best spots to go down here in Reading?
Well, I can't give away all my super good spots, but I do fish on the Schuylkill River a lot. We like to take the boat out on there and drift through certain spots. Sometimes we like to wade out in the water. A lot of smallmouth bass in the Schuylkill River. We don't have those down south, so catching those up here has been a real treat for me. We also fish the Tulpahawken Creek that comes out of the bottom of Blue Marsh Lake, and it's real cold, so there's a lot of trout in there. Some smallies too, but we like to go at night sometimes because there's some big catfish in that creek, and we like to catch them.
Now, I know you're from Georgia.
Yeah.
As we recently heard, there's been a storm, and prayers back to home to you as well.
Thank you.
Where do you like to go back at home to fish?
Well, I grew up on the coast, so I always loved going back there and fishing saltwater. We do a lot of sea trout fishing, redfish fishing. Redfish are awesome. They're real strong fish. Grew up fishing for them with my dad and with my uncle. There's also a lot of freshwater rivers down there, the real slow rivers. And I know sunnies up here are like a tiny little fish that nobody likes to catch, but we get some freaking huge sunnies down in Georgia, so we love to fish for sunnies in those rivers. Bass too, lots of bass in them, catfish as always. And farther up north in Georgia, we got some faster rivers with some more white water. They've got some bass in them too, and they're more fun to fish because it's technical water. North Georgia's got a lot of trout fishing, a lot of rivers that come out of the North Georgia mountains that are full of trout. Some big ones, some small ones, some real pretty ones. Other types of fishing in Georgia, we do some carp fishing. That's kind of tough, but we enjoy doing it. That's about it, honestly.
I know fishing can probably get stressful. It's for anybody, the professional level, or just for going to have fun. As for you, is like fishing for probably a long time since you've been growing up as a kid. Tell me about how frustrating it is to be fishing out in those waters.
Well, the most frustrating thing about fishing is that you got to depend on the weather, and the weather doesn't always do what you want it to do. Fishing in the rain is never any fun. Some people tell you that they like it, but they're not telling the truth. Fishing in the rain is never fun. It's not good for the fishing. They don't eat as well, and plus you're getting wet. It can also be really hot, and on a hot day, fish are real slow and they don't bite real well. That's a big problem in Georgia, especially because we get a lot of 100-degree days down there, and you go out there in the morning thinking that you're going to have a good day, and it gets up over 100 and you just can't catch any of them. That can be real frustrating. And also in terms of time of year, once it starts to cool down, fish get slower, and it's tough to fish into the colder months even though you really want to, because, who wants to stop fishing just because it gets cold?
I know as a kid, I'm sure you dreamed about this before. Do you ever feel like you wanted to be a professional fisher? As like when you started at a young age, you thought, maybe I'm catching a lot of these good fish. Did you ever think you could take it to the next level and be maybe a professional fisher on ESPN one day?
Well, growing up, my dad used to fish professionally saltwater. He had a team with a couple guys, and they had a boat. The thing about professional fishing is there's a lot of overhead costs because you got to have a boat, and boat gas is expensive, and bait's expensive, and gear's constantly breaking. It's the kind of thing where there's just a constant cost, and if you're gonna be successful at it, you have to be winning all the time. And I'm just, I'm not the kind of person that takes it that competitively. I definitely catch fish at the level to to where I could compete. But in terms of being successful at it, I don't think I have, the financial ability to be able to commit myself to something right now. But later on in life, it may be something that I pursue.
I know for fishing, sometimes, as you said earlier, it can be stressful, but do you ever feel sometimes it's stress-free for you when you're out in those waters?
Well, there's a certain level of stress that comes with fishing in and of itself, but you definitely get to disconnect with the stresses of life when you're out there. Things sort of fade away, and you focus in on the technique that you're using and what the fish are doing. It's definitely, for me, a release and an escape from the daily droll of life.
Is your family, other than say your dad, as you said before, he was in professional fishing, but as you were growing up, and other parts of your family, are they big time fishers as well?
Well, me and my siblings for sure. Dad raised all of us to be outdoorsmen and to be going fishing. I'm definitely the one that caught on to it the most, but my brother loves to fish, and my sister will come with us too. She's a really good fisherman too. And my mom likes to come. She's not as good at it as everybody, excuse me, but she does like to come and be outside, and she catches a lot of fish too. And that brings sort of my dad a lot of joy because he pretty much taught us all how to fish. So it's the big thing for him to be able to do it with his family.
So as this all adds up to this great topic we've been talking about, what's some advice can you give to people about fishing, and what can they learn from this type of thing that you go out in the water and you want to catch a bass, you want to catch some flounders, and what kind of advice would you give them to catch those type of most popular fish?
Well, the first thing I would tell them to do is get online and read. You want to read about the area that you're going to and what the fish do there, what they eat, and that'll help you make your bait selection. Whether you're using something live or something artificial, you still need to know what lives there and what the fish are eating. You also want to be able to read the water, and wherever you go in, you want to be able to look at the water and see the types of places that fish will be, and sort of chart out how you're going to work the area and do it in a methodical way so that you can get the most out of a spot before you move on to the next one. And also, I always tell people that if they're really unsure, then find a local guide service and find someone to take you out there, because nothing beats firsthand experience in terms of getting into fish. If you want to be able to catch fish, you should go with someone who knows how and can put you on them.